later.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Loud Spot. I'm your host, Sebastian, out of Oklahoma City. We got a packed house tonight. We got the two people involved with the Loud Spot on the show. We got our regular host, Ava Gore, and producer Sam. Hope you both are doing well. And then we also have Keith and Jeff from the Gemini Affair. What's going on, fellas?
Not much. How's it going, you guys?
Hello.
It is going. I want to apologize to people who pay attention to us watching us live. We did start a little bit late today.
Yeah, so don't fucking whine about it.
Yeah, get over it. So,
Some musician time.
don't blame it on Jeff. We'll blame it on Jeff. That's fine. That's fine. So the Gemini,
the local band went too long on their set. How about that?
Yeah, okay. That works.
Exactly.
the Gemini Affair. That is really a cool name. When I saw you guys booked, I was like, that's a really neat name. Tell us a little bit about the band and how you guys got started.
Well, the band started about 3 or 4 years ago. I'd come off the road touring with some other bands and started to kind of put together some songs. I'm a Gemini. I didn't want to call it my name, so at first it was just called the Gemini. Me and Keith had played together in other bands, and it kind of just naturally took its own course. Well, hello, beautiful. Hold on a second. Thank you for that flower. That was really sweet. So anyway,
one of the groupies.
Yeah.
So yeah,
They're getting younger.
Yeah, that's creepy. It kind of just started out as me writing some songs that probably didn't work in other bands and other things that I was doing. Kind of maybe reflected a little bit more of the influences that I had kind of growing up, mixed with loud guitars and cool hooks, and things just kind of naturally progressed, and it turned into the Gemini Affair. Basically, that's the long and short of it.
Okay, so so it was originally just a project that you were starting, and then you brought Keith into the project.
Absolutely,
exactly.
Yes. I think it kind of started out. I had a few songs, and I called him. I'm like, "Hey, can you come by my place, or can I send you a few demos? I'm not sure what this is, but I like it." And Keith's always been a great sounding board for me with ideas. He shoots me straight and will kind of tell me if like, yeah, that's cool, or it's pretty good. But you know, that kind of stuff. So soon as he kind of came into the picture with me, things took a lot of weight off my shoulders, and he's such a great musician and bass player. It's just really worked.
Yeah, and Keith, now both the two of you have been in other bands before joining the Gemini Affair. There was some other bigger touring bands. Is that correct? That either you guys ran or associated with? That's
correct. Yes.
Okay. So when coming on to this is not your first rodeo, and has the band since 2000? So was it 2017? Is that when the band started?
Correct.
Yes. Yeah, right around there.
Okay. Well, have you guys been able to tour already as the Gemini Affair? I know only a couple years happened, and like COVID happened, but what's the plan from when you first started to what you guys have been doing now?
Well, I mean, when we first started, and also part of the thing, another flower. Thank you so much.
I want a flower.
I know. I don't know. I've had, it's great. So when this started out, I've been touring almost all my adult life, and I love that. And that's something I hope this band does, and I'm sure we will. When the first EP came out, it wasn't even really about that. It was more about me writing some songs with some of my favorite people. And at first I was just going to give it away for free, put it out online. And then we kind of played a handful of shows around town. And I kind of wanted to do the kind of thing where I just pick and choose what kind of shows I wanted to play instead of playing every place that every band around town plays. And and that went really well. That parlayed itself kind of into writing this newest EP that we're putting out, and then COVID hit. So here we are.
So coming out with this EP, did COVID delay it? Did it kind of pause from what you were going to do and bring that to date now?
Yes, absolutely. It was recorded and finished before this really started. As a matter of fact, we were going to kind of debut and play some of the songs at a show at a great bar club here in Seattle called the Crocodile. It's a pretty famous place. And that was the night that everything shut down. We backed out of the show the night before because something was feeling weird. And so, you know, I think a lot of us in the world probably thought, oh, this will go away maybe in a couple weeks, or, well, you know, like, let's just all kind of hang tight for a month and then feel out how we're going to release this. And those weeks and months turned into what we've all kind of been dealing with. And I didn't really want to, neither, I'll speak for Keith here. We didn't want to release this. There was a lot of information out in the world. We had the elections, we had all this stuff. The space that people had, at least it felt like to me, for new music was pretty minuscule. And I didn't really kind of I didn't want to waste it. I was patient. I'm like, let's just wait. And when we kind of get through this, then we'll kind of release it and kind of move on.
Right.
Hey, real
We
quick,
had a lot going on the business end of things when COVID hit. So on some level, we had a lot to take care of anyhow, and we were able to busy ourselves with that.
just real quick, you guys got some. You got Leanne in here that says hey, and then Kimberly in here that says hi. Keith. Yeah, Keith and Jeff. So, and then of course we got our avid commenter Sharon Willdollar with COVID Crusher.
Got a little Sharon. So you guys and the band just came out with a new song yesterday.
Correct. Yes.
Right, digging in the dirt.
Right.
Kind
of, yeah.
What are you gonna say about
Cover
it?
the Peter Gabriel song.
Correct. You know, when kind of the last thing I wanted to do when I started writing these songs and putting this band together it wasn't really ever about releasing a cover song or anything like that. But when I would go back and forth to the studio and recording this EP, I would kind of put a playlist together of songs that maybe would start pointing my head in a direction for the day and kind of be inspiring. And that song would always come on, and it was one of the last days of tracking, and we had extra time. So we just kind of put all the beginning pieces of it together, and it fell together so naturally, and it kind of really felt like it could still be a part of what I wanted this EP to feel like. So I'm super proud of it. It's fun. I always loved Peter Gabriel's, like, kind of the juxtaposition of what he talks about versus how the song sounds. It's always been an interesting thing to me. I think he's pretty genius. Yeah, I think I love how it turned out. So it's fun to release it.
Yeah, I listened to the song earlier, and I don't know. I don't think there's a music video for it quite yet. Anyways, so we are going to play your song "You're Perfect," which that just came out a few months ago. Anyways,
correct.
And that song got some people talking. I did see this, and if you guys want to gloat a little bit, that's fine. You can. I saw where it was. You guys were called a super band or super group or something along those lines. And I read all about it. What would you like to say about the reason why some people may refer to you as the super duper band of 2021?
Well, I think that happens to us anytime people kind of jump out of other projects and bands that have, I've been lucky to play and tour and do so many great things with the most like, I'm blessed. I'm so lucky. And if that's all I ever did, I would be super happy. But I think as musicians and artists, we all still kind of want to create other things. And I think people latch on to those. It sounds good when you're doing press, and it sounds good. It just happens to be a lot of my friends and a lot of people we know, they're in other great bands. And, I've played with other people that are A-list, arena bands that have made other side bands that are like super groups. And they're really, for crying out loud, like when Duff did Velvet Revolver, that's a kind of a super group.
Right.
Or, there's so many of them. And it's flat. It's great that people say that. But, we're just, we're all working musicians that have, and the reason any of us myself, Keith, are probably the other people that have played on the Gemini Affair stuff, is they're great musicians, they're great artists, they work well with other people, and they've been persistent. And that's how and play music that they're honest about.
Right.
And if, people, I don't know, the supergroup thing is that's weird to me, but that's cool.
Right. People often refer to me as a super podcast, and I'm like, whoa.
Yeah. Whoa. First of all, you're a bullshitting liar right there. Bullshitting lie. No one's referred to us as that.
From here on in, that's how I'm referring to you.
Yeah,
if they did, I wouldn't have said it. I'm trying to. Hey, fake it till you make it, right? Fake it till you make it.
That's right.
And just to circle back to you talking about the new single. We do have a new video coming out for Digging in the Dirt next week. And it's a really fun video. Yeah.
Nice. I'm gonna be looking forward to seeing that. While we're on the subject of music videos, we were able to download. Actually, I screen recorded. You're Perfect. And I was able to email it to myself. That's how I get music on my show.
That's amazing.
Right? So,
you're smart.
Let's go ahead and jam that song right now. Sam, you gotta push the button. There you go.
You pull away 2 steps from paradise. The brightness in your heart
All right, cool. Great. So would that song be considered?
Hold on real quick. So sorry, hold on.
Yeah.
Hey, really quickly, that was directed by our buddy Ryan Corey, who
Okay,
you
cool.
might also know he directed Pearl Jam's Dance of the Clairvoyants video.
Okay.
And also want to shoot out thanks to our friend Davey French from Everclear, who came out to do the video with us. Our guitar player Ryan Waters was sick morning of the video shoot.
Oh,
Davey,
man.
Davey came in and filled in for him, and he also both of them played live with us, and we did a few in studio live videos a few months back.
All right, real quick, Raquel is badass.
She got her shirt coming. She got her shirt coming to her.
That's right.
Got her shirt from the Loud Spot. Yeah.
Sharon Willdollar says power ballad lives. And of course she says cool production. And Kimberly says Keith is cooler than that guy from STP.
That's amazing.
And then of course we just right now Friskiski. I don't even know how to say it.
Frischetti.
Yeah, so he says hello. So
he's an amazing photographer, by the way.
Amazing, yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Awesome. So if you're in a band, it's always good to have good photographers, you know.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, there's so many people in the world that, I mean, you play shows now and you come out and there's 150 phones staring at you. So everybody thinks they can be a photographer, but there really is an art to it, and he's an amazing photographer.
He says thank you guys.
Of course.
The money's in the mail, for Sketty.
Yeah. Yeah.
I only think I'm a good photographer when I'm drunk and I'm at a concert. I'm like, oh, this is so good.
Yeah.
No,
that was horrible.
And then what you usually get is dick pics from him. That's what you usually get. That's probably what happens.
I'll give him my phone number when we're done.
Yeah. On that note, you guys, I read that someone had called that dark post-punk. Kind of.
Sure.
I mean, would you say that?
Maybe not so much on that song. I think some of our other material kind of definitely swims around in those areas. It's a pretty prominent part of my musical upbringing, is that era of music. And as much as the other stuff and other bands that I've played in, when I'm home listening to music, exercising or doing whatever, making playlists, a lot of the music is kind of from that era of music, for sure. So if it seeps in, it's unintentional, but I welcome it.
Okay.
So
go ahead. No, I was saying, Ava hasn't said anything all night.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead. The floor is yours.
Who would you say your musical influences are, if you have any specific ones?
I mean, everybody from Led Zeppelin, the early years of in Judas Priest and Iron Maiden. Like when I first found my own music, I didn't have an older brother that like turned me on to punk rock or anything like that. But as soon as I discovered bands like Bauhaus and The Cure, Christian Death, Joy Division, like bands like that, that was music that kind of changed the trajectory of my youth, for sure. So definitely those kinds of bands.
Would you say that you influence, or maybe you even write all of your songs? I don't know if you're the main writer, but do you influence the way the song sounds as far as the other musicians in the band? Like write the other instruments, help with it anyways?
No.
Good.
I mean, I tend to, Keith's amazing, and the things that Keith contributes to this last EP, everyone contributed quite a bit more than the first EP I put out. Generally, there were songs I wrote, kind of fully realized demos to, and Keith kind of came in. I had a bunch of other people come in and play as well. The whole point of this thing was and it's starting to morph, let me back up a little bit. It's starting to morph into a thing where all the other players should bring what they do.
Right.
But the whole point of this for me was it started out as, I'm going to write the songs. I'm just going to write songs. I'll program drums. I'll play the keyboards. I'll play all the guitars. I'll do all this stuff. And just see what happens. And it's kind of turned into another thing, which I welcome 100%. And I think, once the next EP past this comes out, it'll be even more collaborative for sure.
Jeff usually bounces demos back and forth off me and our producer, etc. So by the time we get into the record, we have a good idea of what we're going for.
Yeah.
Do you ever experience writer's block, and do you have a way to overcome it?
I do. I mean, I think anybody that writes music definitely does. I mean, probably for every 10 songs that you try to, or at least for me, you try to write, maybe there's, a couple that work. I think a lot of stuff I write, I tend to think there's probably something in there that might be cool at a later point. Sometimes it just goes on the hard drive and never comes back. As for writer's block, I think it's just like everything. I don't really write songs necessarily to try to make. I write songs because I love to. It's like almost when I was a kid and I got my first 4-track, it was almost like a little kid having Legos. Like you could put all this cool stuff together, and in the end, you have this amazing fort. Well, music, I know that's weird, but music,
no, it makes total sense.
Music to me is still always that thing. And now technology is to the place where I have access to so many more cool sounds and things. Like I still love just, if it's in the morning, grabbing a cup of coffee, turning on the computer, I'll pick up an instrument and play. And I'm like, oh, I'll put this part on top of it. Now I'm going to add this keyboard part. And now, there's a melody. Like that's fun. To me, that's super fun. And if something great comes out of it that works, for what we're doing now, that's fantastic. And I try to push certain kind of ideas in that direction. And sometimes things are completely out in left field. And I think that's for anybody that writes music, I'm sure most people would kind of agree, but it's a really healthy way for me to be creative.
Yeah, man. I wish I was a good lyricist. I actually write lyrics for a band. And it's horrible. Like the worst lyrics you'll ever hear. I'm like, because I'm not very good at metaphors and things like. I'm like that. Yeah. I'm like, hey, what's up? What's up, bitch?
Yeah, he's not lying. That's exactly what he sends to me. Hey, Sam, what do you think about this?
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I said Ava too. Oh, it's horrible. I used to be more creative when I was younger. Or if I'm upset about something, I'm more creative. But if everything in life's going great, I have nothing to write about. Like I could not. I have nothing to write about. I wish I could write beautiful love ballads, and I want to write hateful music sometimes.
No, sure. Bitch.
Instead he writes about porn stars.
I did write one song about that actually, and it's actually pretty good.
No, it's not good. Stop! It's not good. It's horrible.
Jeff, I think you would quite enjoy it actually.
No,
this is great.
Jeff and Ava should collab together. Their music fits. Her Weird Wolves and his music.
Yeah.
No,
Jeff is also inspired by my really bad ideas. We can't do that. We're come up with something better.
Every bad idea creates a good idea, I feel. I do want to talk about, you guys are still signed on to, is it Mike McCready? Is that from Pearl Jam?
We just released our vinyl version of our first single on Mike McCready's label called HockeyTalkter.
HockeyTalkter, yeah.
Which is what his kid called a helicopter.
Oh, nice.
So that's a vinyl only label, and he put out our single, and then otherwise we're signed with G4L, and that's who's handling the rest of our releases.
That is so cool. Any upcoming tours that you guys are planning on right now?
Not at the moment. I think, the EP isn't even out. So, and I think a lot of the tours that everybody's seeing in these festivals, these were all booked. And this was, a lot of these tours were booked last year. So, I think after we're going to get through the end of the year, get through the winter, and let some of this stuff kind of fester a little bit. Kind of start talking to people and get out there and play outside of where we're at now. That's something I want. I want to bring the band to South America and to Europe and Japan and some festivals in the States and stuff. It just has to make sense.
Yeah.
Right. Looking at 2022. So,
Yeah,
really
and
fun.
that's actually a smart thing as a booking agent myself, that I'm having a hard time trying to get gigs for bands, because everyone and their mother is out there. All the redos are being redone. The festivals, stuff like that. Buy-ons are funny right now because those who bought onto a tour are now going out on the tour, and or they either canceled the tour. So just real quick, Fischetti says that white vinyl is rad. Get out east.
We will.
Yeah.
We will.
Yeah.
The single was released on white vinyl.
And then Kimberly says Canada? Question mark.
For sure.
Your visas.
Yeah.
I like to leave towards the end of the show, which we're approaching. And I always put Ava on the spot, and I love doing it anyways.
All the time, every time.
It's fine.
What's your last question?
It's fine for me. I like doing it. Ava, do you have any final thoughts or questions for the band before we give the band kind of the floor, the two guys, to kind of talk about anything we didn't talk about?
You said you guys were in other bands previously. What's different about this one that makes it more enjoyable, or is it the same?
Go ahead.
Well, let me say that. Yeah, let me say working with Jeff is a friggin' pleasure. It couldn't be smoother working with this guy, and that's very different than a lot of bands I've been. So
yeah,
awesome.
Yeah, I've been lucky. I've played with a lot of great people. I was in the band Loaded with Duff from Guns N' Roses for 20 years. Toured with Buck Cherry and Tommy Stinson from the Replacements in a band called Bash and Pop. Went out with Chris Jericho's Fozzy for a while. And I guess the difference is all those bands are based on like somebody that's like you were talking about supergroups or other things. These are guys that they're all amazing musicians, great songwriters. And I was just lucky enough to be able to go out and be a part of it. And Loaded was a collaborative thing, and the music that we wrote together. But this is just it's not a vanity project, but it's something that I get to express myself how I want to express myself. I wasn't the singer in those bands. I wrote lyrics in Loaded and stuff, and I guess I did sing on a couple songs on the Loaded records, so that's wrong. But it's just a different kind of project that there's no pressure. There's no pressure for me to live up to anything. And we can kind of take things at our own pace, and that's healthy and fun for us, in this band. And I think that's super important. We're not young bucks anymore. And I think, people have families and lives, and I want to always be really respectful of that. If somebody can't do something, I'm not going to kick them out of the band because they can't, it might be my stuff, but I want everyone to feel comfortable and have a fun time being a part of it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's awesome. Dude, you guys have been like super. I can tell you guys are just super cool people. I appreciate you guys being on the show for sure. Is there anything that you want to talk about that we didn't ask? You just kind of want to get off your chest and maybe say out there that you thought you talk about on the show before you came on?
Yeah, well, I guess the main thing I want to talk about is fuck Oklahoma for taking the Sonics. Just the NBA Finals were last. I still have like this bitter feeling when people say they're from. I love Oklahoma. I love playing there. I've been there a million times. But fuck you.
Wait, fuck you for what? For what they do? What they do?
Well, our beloved Seattle Sonics basketball.
Ah, fuck the Sonics. OKC, Thunder up, baby.
No, okay. Interview's over.
Yeah, interview's over. Great, Sebastian. I can't fucking take you anywhere. Jesus Christ.
No, I will say this. Seattle was so pissed when the Supersonics came to Oklahoma. And of course, I'm from California originally, right? But I moved here right when the Thunder, right before the Thunder got here. And I remember everyone in Seattle just hated Oklahoma. And I get it, but you know what? It's because the fans weren't going to the games, and then Oklahoma City, and it was like boom. We had Kevin Durant,
I know.
Russell Westbrook,
What's it?
Ibaka back in the day. I know. That's good. Yeah, no. We're not even talking about basketball, but you know what? I do have a Seattle Supersonics hat though. But I don't wear it. I keep it on display because I feel like it's a part of Oklahoma. of the Thunder's history.
Right.
And so I think it's super cool that I'm able to have those because they don't really sell them anymore. So that's a collector's item.
That's cool.
No, much love to Seattle and Supersonics before they came here.
Just remember, Jeff, he may have a basketball team now, but you guys still have a football team. They'll never have a football team in Oklahoma.
That's
probably true.
Two college related.
And then the funniest thing is like we have any choice in any of this when it comes to owners. They pick up and move. It's all about money to them. It's like a record label. That's all they worry about.
It really is. It's just it's funny for me to talk about anybody. I talk about anybody from Oklahoma. It's one of the first things out of my mouth. So
I love it. Yeah. I love that.
Where can people go take a look at your music, website, merchandise, those kind of things?
Do.
Go ahead, Keith.
Yeah, if you go to GeminiAffair.com, we have links to everything. Our merch stores on Threadless, and we're on Spotify, all those places. And look out for the new video next week.
Yeah, new video. It's going to be wait till people see this video. It's incredible. Best video I've ever been in, for sure.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
We can't say who directed it because it'll give it away.
Yeah,
be a spoiler.
Okay.
Yeah,
and don't forget to check out Keith's OnlyFans. It's coming soon. Right. It's coming soon. He took
$100. Yep.
That's right. No, you got to go higher than that. 200 per photo.
That's my toe. You get my toe for $100.
That's right.
I'm gonna play the outro song here in just a second, but I do want to thank you guys again for being on the show. And don't go anywhere just yet. I do want to thank everybody who watches. Check us out on YouTube. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We love subscribers, obviously. It's how we grow. We're getting lots of great bands on. Check us out on Apple, Spotify, www.theloudspot.net. We should be not in Memphis, like I usually say, Nashville. First week of August, we're going to be with Saving Abel. Should be anyways, interviewing them live. So that'll be a very fun episode for us. And
we're at the Rockin' Pod, guys. Rockin' Pod. Yep, that's right. It's an expo, podcast expo. There's going to be a lot of people, a lot of famous legendary band members, stuff like that. So there are still tickets available, general admission, I do believe. So don't check those out at, I think it's NashvilleRockandPod.com. If not, you just ask us, and we'll send you guys the links for those tickets.
That's right, and that's all we got. Before I play the outro, I want to say one thing: thunder up.
This is the Loud Spot outro by nothing short of tragic. Is this all talk with no action? No. Is this my thoughts with distraction? No. Is this what I bought that's in fashion? Or is this the Loud Spot with Sebastian? Yes. Does nothing short of tragic have us back again? Yes. Does everything that's good really have to end? Yes. A pimp host has a pimp show, so to get more episodes, make an order, this is over.
Thanks for watching our video. Don't forget to click the like and share button.
Don't forget to go to our YouTube and subscribe.
If you want to listen to our audio and pick up some cool merch, go to www.theloudspot.net. Peace out, rock on, much love.